Here we are, segment 3, Rock and Roll Gallery Shot Talk. You've given us an earful so far, but that was just New York, and that was a taste of New York. What happened after New York?
Well, the reason I had a partner who was a writer at the time, and we ended up covering multiple dates of the Rolling Stones tour, and we had a deal with Dell Publishing to put out like not a magazine, but a little booklet of words and photos from that tour. I think we covered a half a dozen or 10 different dates, something like that. And one of those dates was here in Los Angeles. And we were about to embark from an apartment that we had in New York together to a loft in the trucking district. And we came out to LA and said, hey, wait, let's rethink this. Let's see if we can rent apartments here in LA and enjoy sunshine, beautiful ladies, and do rock and roll here. And that's what we ended up doing. Instead of moving from the Upper East Side in a 5-story walk-up with the bathtub in the kitchen, and I would put my developing trays on a piece of plywood over the bathtub, we said, let's go to Los Angeles and see what that's like. And that's what we ended up doing. So we moved to Los Angeles in '72, and I've been here ever since.
Well, some of your most famous shots, the one that struck me was you were already shooting Zeppelin at the Forum. And that one shot that Dave Brolin had picked out for the book with you, for the Led Zeppelin by Led Zeppelin, their official book, that Jimmy loved, with the bow perfectly in the corner. That's just money shot city.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool shot. Trying to shoot them live, obviously you really needed to have, right timing. And you actually can see the other 3 members of the band in the background of that shot where the bow is going across the guitar. And actually moving, and that shot was I like that shot a lot because it shows the energy level that could be generated by that band, and
well, it's also a symmetrically perfect shot, almost by accident.
Yeah, you obviously compose photos the best way you know how, and it really depends on where the band members are in and on the stage and where you can position yourself. And of course, back then, if you were able to shoot the entire show, you were able to get your positioning down and get the movement of the band members and thus be able to compose a better photograph. So that was the exciting part, just trying to get those moments and capture them.
Speaking of moments that you captured, obviously youth must have played into this, but you're at Kezar Stadium 73 with Led Zeppelin, and there's one shot that comes to mind that could never be done again. It looks like you're climbing up on the
yes,
light trusses.
there are trusses that hold up the overhang. So it's easy to climb. So you just have your cameras strapped around your neck and shoulders. You climb up a certain height and be able to shoot down on the stage.
So that's what different parameters back then than now, I would say. And I'm being slightly facetious here. Can you imagine trying to climb up there now?
Well,
stage manager.
I can imagine, but it would not happen. They would not come to fruition. Obviously, a stage manager, unless you had specific permission from the artist that you were working for, first of all, those kinds of trusses are typically not exposed like that anymore. That was an outdoor show in a stadium with like 75,000 people. I had free reign. There were multiple other photographers shooting the band at the time, and I believe other photographers were on the stage as well. But
Neil Preston, James Fortune, they were all right there.
Yeah.
But you were climbing up on the trusses,
yeah,
about a story and a half higher than the band.
Yeah, I was maybe 20, 30 feet up, something like that. But it was a cool perspective, shooting down on the band. You didn't get that perspective very often. Captured a couple of cool shots.
You go from there, then you're back in LA. But even before you left LA, there's one weird shot And I guess you were at the airport with Zeppelin the next day because you've got Jimmy going into in San Francisco airport.
Yeah. We were traveling. I'm not sure. I didn't go on their plane. So I think that was them arriving in San Francisco, but I'm not absolutely certain whether we were coming or going. But yeah, there was some shots of them in the airport, and it was we were with them for a few days.